to take us through the process. Mr. Felix is actually a mortgage specialist from Republic Bank, and then he has been with the mortgage department. He has been a mortgage specialist for over 8 years now. Mr. Felix, welcome to BlackRock Developers Limited.
All right, thank you very much.
Once again, I welcome everyone to this evening webinar. So we are here to discuss briefly on, or we are here to have a conversation on mortgages in general, and then we dive into the pre-approval process to the closing process. Mr. Felix, can you please explain to us what a mortgage is and why it is such an important part of the home buying process?
All right. Thank you very much, Gordon. Before I start, I would like to say a big thank you and welcome to everyone on this call for making time to join this session. And I believe we are all going to benefit from this session. And let me also say that my manager and some of my colleagues will be joining this call as well throughout the session. So I will explain in simple terms. A mortgage is a loan that a lender, so in this case, the lender is the bank, or let's say Republic Bank. Let me be specific. So a mortgage is the loan that a bank or a lender offers to purchase a property. And the property serves as the collateral for the loan. So borrowers make a regular monthly repayment of principal and interest to the lender over an agreed period. Or in other words, a mortgage allows you to buy a property or a home without paying for the full amount upfront by borrowing a large sum from the bank. So we will offer you a mortgage facility or a loan, and we give you a number of years to repay. So you don't pay upfront to purchase the property. So in simple terms, that is what a mortgage is. And once I'm explaining what a mortgage is, Gordon, let me take this opportunity to also brief our listeners on our interest rate in loan term so that subsequent conversations will be meaningful to them. So for the interest rate, Republic Bank has a fixed interest rate. All our interest rates are fixed. And that is one good thing about Republic Bank. You'll not get any fixed interest rate from any of our competitors. And we have a dollar mortgage facility, and we have Cedi Mortgage Facility. So for the dollar loan, our interest rate is 11.5% per annum for the entire loan term. And then the Cedi is between 16 and 17% per annum for the entire loan term, also a fixed rate. Now, for non-resident Ghanaians, I mean those in UK, US, and other countries, you have the option to either go for a dollar loan or a Cedi loan. Unlike resident Ghanaians, where you have to go for a Cedi loan unless you pay in dollars. But non-resident Ghanaians, you have the option to go for a dollar loan or a Cedi loan. So, Gordon, in a nutshell, that is basically what a mortgage is.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Felix. Of late, I hear the term, having some conversations with a few people, I hear the term pre-approval and pre-qualification. Are there any difference in these two? What is the difference between the pre-approval and pre-qualification?
All right, Gordon. Thank you for the question. Just a minute, please. Sorry about that. So let me quickly throw more light on pre-qualification and pre-approval. So if we say pre-qualification, Gordon, it simply means like the way I'm talking to you, you can just give me your net income and your age, and I can assess or give you an estimate how much you qualify for, or the maximum loan amount that the bank can offer you. All right, that is pre-qualification. But if we say pre-approval, it means it involves deeper credit checks. It means I've gone deep to check all required documents by the bank. Let me give a typical example. If we are looking at pre-qualification, I don't necessarily need a completed mortgage application form. I don't necessarily need your credit report to, do an assessment. In terms of the mortgage amount that the applicant qualifies for, I can give an estimate. Okay, but if you're talking of pre-approval, then I will request for a completed mortgage application form. I also request for a full credit report, bank statement, pay slips, all the necessary documents that I need for assessment. And then upon reviewing all these documents, I'll be able to confirm that the applicant qualifies for X amount uh, to purchase the property. So that's the difference between pre-approval and pre-qualification. Pre-qualification, I've not yet reviewed the document, but if you tell me your net income and your age, of course, I can give you an idea how much you qualify for. But for pre-approval, I need all documents, review them, and then come out with a loan amount that the bank can offer. I hope that
Okay.
clarifies
Okay.
it.
Yes, that's it's okay for now. So, what is the importance, or why is it important for potential home buyers, especially people in the diaspora, to understand the full mortgage process before starting? If I may.
All right. I'm glad you're asking this question. And per the calls we received from people who make inquiries, it will interest you to know that we have a number of non-resident Ghanaians who have no idea that they can even apply for mortgages here in Ghana to purchase properties in Ghana. They think they can only apply for mortgages in Ghana if they have a mortgage over there. So easy. It doesn't matter whether you're in Ghana or not. It's so easy. We can take you through the mortgage process as easily as possible. We can just send you our forms and requirements. You complete them. You send us a scan copy, and we can easily process the facility for you.
Okay. Okay. What are the key factors or the key things lenders or you people require or consider before granting mortgage pre-approval? If I may ask.
Okay, so talking about pre-approval, as I explained earlier, there are some key documents that we request from the customer to be able to assess and confirm how much we can offer the customer. Like I indicated earlier, in terms of pre-qualification, I don't really need those documents. But if you're talking of pre-approval, then I'll go ahead and list the documents that you need to be able to assess and let the customer know how much he or she qualifies for. First one, we request for 3 months current pay slips, 6 months bank statement, full downloaded credit report, and the credit report, we want one with the scores and the ratings. Sometimes we receive credit reports like a screenshot. Some of the customers will log in onto their phone and then take a screenshot of the credit report, just maybe the score, and send it to us. Unfortunately, we are not able to use that to do the assessment. We need a full downloaded credit report indicating all the commitments. So if you have a mortgage over there, it should indicate in the credit report. If you have an auto loan, if you have a credit card, everything will be showed in the credit report. So we need a full downloaded credit report. Then we need employment letter, either employment letter or introductory letter from the employer. Some people have been working for over 10 years, 12 years, and when you go asking for employment letter, they actually don't remember where they've placed it. That shouldn't be a problem. All that we need is an introductory letter from your employer to confirm your salary, to confirm your position, and when you were employed. With these three key information in the introductory letter, we are good to go. So if you can't find an employer letter, that's not a problem. We also request for a copy of your Ghana card or the applicant's Ghana card. In the case where the applicant doesn't have a Ghana card, we request for a copy of a Ghana passport or anything to show that the person is a Ghanaian. Obviously, someone will ask that, but if I tell you my name, you should know I'm a Ghanaian. Yes, your name should tell us that you're a Ghanaian, but at least we need a document to prove that you're a Ghanaian. And then we also request for tax returns. And once we receive all these documents, we'll be able to assess and confirm the maximum loan amount we can offer. However, we offer applicants maximum 80% of the price of the property. So I'll quickly go ahead and I'll quickly go over the requirements again, just in case someone was trying to put them down. First, 3 months current pay slips, 6 months bank statement, full downloaded credit report showing the scores and the ratings, a copy of the applicant's Ghana card or Ghana passport or any document to prove that the person is a Ghanaian, employment letter or introductory letter from the employer, and tax returns. So once these documents are received, we can quickly do the assessment and then revert to the customer as to the maximum loan amount that we can offer.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Felix. I got a few things jotted down: the 3 months pay slip, 6 months back statement, full credit report, employment letter, Ghana card, or passport. Right.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, there's a question here. The person is saying, do people in Ghana also need to provide a credit report?
So the answer is no. People in Ghana doesn't need to provide a credit report because here we don't use credit report like the way they use. But there's a system that has been put in place that we use to check the credit worthiness of all our customers. So though we don't request for credit report from people here in Ghana or applicants in Ghana, there's a platform that we use to check whether the person has other commitments. And it's so easy to check anyway. But because they are not here in Ghana, it's difficult to access their credit report over the or their credit platform. So we request it directly from them.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Felix. So with the things you listed here, I noticed that means all these things are people who are employees of different firms. What if the person is a self-employed person? What are the requirements for a self-employed person?
Good. It's a good question. So if you're self-employed, you are not out of the system, so we can equally assist you. And let me go over the requirements that we need from self-employed applicants. So first of all, we need a company registration document. So if you're saying you're self-employed, it means you've registered a company and you're operating on your own. So we need a company registration document to prove that the company is registered and the company actually exists. We also need audited financial statements for the last 3 years. And then at least we will also request for the company profile or the business profile. We actually want to know or understand the kind of business you are into. And we also request for tax returns for the last 3 years. Tax returns for the last 3 years. We also request for bank statements for at least the last 12 months. Bank statement for at least the last 12 months and possibly projected cash flow to help us, understand the nature of your business and your cash flow, because that depends on the maximum loan amount that we can offer you. So for self-employed applicants, they are not left out. Once they're able to provide us with these requirements, you'll be in a position to assist them as well.
All right, Mr. Felix. I'm looking at the things you did mention, or you just mentioned for self-employed personnels. Okay. There's something that caught my attention. Audited report for 3 years, 3 years, tax returns. Does that mean that if the person's business is not up to 3 years, the person can't actually apply for a mortgage?
Okay, so for a business, we want to know how well the business has been performing over the years. All right. Now, if you're a salary earner, we know that you have a guaranteed source of income. Every month, we know that you are receiving a salary of X amount. Okay. And of course, the employment letter or the introductory letter, your pay slip and bank statement will confirm that information, that details to us. Now, if you are running your own business, we don't know how well the business has been performing over the years to even project how well the business will perform in the coming years. So we need these documents or this information, all right, to tell us that, okay, for the past 3 years, this is how well the business has been performing. Using probably just a year wouldn't be enough. A year or two wouldn't be enough. But at least 3 years, we'll be able to tell that, okay, if for the past 3 years, this is the performance of the business, then it's likely that going for the next 3, 6, or 7 years, the business will perform. Of course, we know that anything can happen, but at least that will give us that assurance. Pay them details that you provide us, that give us that assurance that the business will perform in the coming years as well. And that is why we look at least minimum 3 years in operation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix. There's a hand up. I want this to be much conversational as possible.
That's,
There's a hand up from the audience. Winifred, if you are here, Winifred from Multimedia, if you are here, I saw your hand up. I'll be glad if you can let
Yeah,
us know.
Felix, come. Could you please come again with the requirements? It was a tall list, so I left two. So could you come again with the requirements for self-employed?
all right. Let me go over the requirements. So, 3 years audited financial report, 2 years bank statement. I want to take my time so that those who are putting it down can get it. The first is 3 years audited financial report, 2 years bank statement, the business profile, the registration documents as well, then income tax returns, and then bank statement for at least 1 year. If you can provide us with 2 years, that'll be much appreciated. And then projected cash flows.
Okay, Winifred, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
There's another hand up. Ken. Ken, we can hear you. Ken, please, you can go with your question, please.
Yes, thank you very much. So my question is more towards the loan. If I'm getting a loan, what are the payment terms? I'm based in the US and I'm trying to buy some property back home. And I heard you mention earlier on there's going to be a fixed rate of 11%. What are the terms? Are there going to be a percentage deposit and then the rest is spread over a certain number of years on that 11%? What are the terms for somebody in America who wants to purchase a property in Ghana? What are the loan terms and then the ins and out of it? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So, we offer maximum 80% of the price of the property. And you, the applicant, will have to raise a minimum of 20% as deposit or equity contribution. Of course, if you can raise more than 20%, is allowed, but the minimum contribution should be 20%. So the 11.5% interest rate is on the 80% of the price of the property that we will offer you. And that is spread over a maximum of 15 years. For non-resident Ghanaians, the maximum loan term is 15 years. We know that those of you outside in UK, US, you can work up to 60, 67 or so. Our length is being even extended. Unlike those here in Ghana, where 60 happens to be the retirement age. So even if we are, let's say, 56 years of age, we can still offer you like 9, 10 years. So you have more room to apply for the facility. But we offer maximum 80%, and then it's spread over a period of maximum 15 years. So for 20% minimum deposit, that one will have to come from you. And then we will process the 80%. But then the 80% also depends on your income, and also after reviewing all the documents that I mentioned earlier, your credit report, your bank statement, and all that. Now, what we do is we don't use more than 40% of an applicant's income. That's for the dollar loan. So if you're a non-resident Ghanaian and you apply for a mortgage facility and you opt for the dollar loan, we look at maximum 40% of your income. This simply means that if you look at all your commitments, if you have a credit card, mortgage, auto loan, everything, if you put everything together, plus the proposed repayment loan that we will offer you here, it shouldn't exceed 40% of your net income. not the gross, the net income. Now, if you opt for the Cedi loan, or if you decide to choose the Cedi loan, you look at maximum 50% of your net income. So putting all your commitments together plus the proposed loan repayment here in Ghana, it shouldn't exceed 50% of your net income. That's the cap. So although we offer maximum 80% of the price of the property, it largely depends on your income, your age, and your commitments. Of course, if you don't have any commitments, you are not going to add any commitment to our assessment. We just look at your income, your age, and then we use that to do the assessment. So basically, that is it. I hope that answers your question.
Apply for a mortgage. What happens behind the scenes?
Okay, so when you put in your mortgage facility, all right, and you put in your mortgage facility, we assume that you have provided us with all the necessary requirements that are mentioned, from completing an application form, providing us with your credit report, your bank statement, and all the other documents. Now, the other thing is we will request for an offer letter from the vendor or the developer selling the property to you. So, assuming you are buying a property from BlackRock Developers, of course, BlackRock will issue with an offer letter, and the offer letter will indicate the property type, the location, the amount, the purchase price, and all that. So we request for that. And then you will have to value the property in question. The bank has approved valuers, and normally we share the list of valuers with our customers. So they select one of the approved valuers to value the property, and then you will seek for approval of the facility. All right, and all this will give and take about 5 days from the last day we received that last document from the customer. Sometimes we don't receive all the documents in full. Okay, we receive credit report today, bank statement tomorrow, and all that. But that is not part of the 5 working days. Okay, so it starts from the last day we received the last document. Now, after the loan is approved, the bank officially writes to the developer to submit transfer documents and backward side plans in the name of the applicant. Okay. Now, sometimes there's a bit of a delay because they will have to prepare backward side plans and all that. But then, give and take, we are looking at between 6 to 8 weeks. We should be able to initiate the process and disburse, unless maybe the delay from the vendor's end drags everything to more than the period or the time that I just indicated. But you look at between 6 to 8 weeks. So once we receive the transfer documents from the developer, we prepare the necessary documents and all that. And there's some fees to be paid. I think that will come up later in the conversation. We pay all those fees, and then we can successfully disburse the loan, and the property is handed over to you.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So you did mention of some fees to be paid. Are those fees different, or are those fees different from the 20% one has to make?
Right. The fees are different. So the 20% is actually not a fee.
That is the equity contribution.
The 20% is the equity contribution from the customer. All right. So it's not a fee, and the fees that we charge the customer does not include the 20% because that is not part of the mortgage loan. I want to make this clear. So if we are charging you fees, the fees is on the 80% of the loan that we are charging and not on 100% of the purchase price. Because the 20 contribution is from you, the applicant. Okay. In that same vein, the interest that we charge does not include the 20%. It's a good question you ask. The interest is on the 80% of the facility that we are giving you, the applicant. The 20% is not part of it.
Okay. Okay. So let's quickly jump into the fees. May we know the fees that go into this? But
all right.
sorry, before jumping into the fees, I see Ken's hand up again. Ken, please,
Yes.
yes, you can ask your question, please.
Yeah, thank you so much for your previous response. It was really enlightening. So, yes, my question was also on the fees, and I was also asking, also, if you could also drop a link because I'm interested and I would like to apply. If you could maybe drop a link inside of the chat, but on the fee level, and to make everything clearly, my question is this. Assuming I found a property in Ghana for 100,000 US dollars, and I have the 20% to put down, and then that means that means I'm putting $20,000 down, and then the rest of the 80,000 is going to be going on mortgage for 15 years at an annual rate of 11%. If you've mentioned the fees, how much based on that assessment value of 100,000, how much fees is going to be paid, and if there's which other fees are going to be in the process so that I know a ballpark figure. Is the fee going to be paid upfront during the closing or the signing, or that fee is going to be added to the 80% that is going to be spread over 11 years? So I want to know the clarity on the fees. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. I'll quickly go through the fees, and then I'll also provide you with figures concerning the questions that you asked. So we have processing and facility fee, which is 3% of the loan amount. I mean, for processing your facility. We also have stamp duty on mortgage. That is 0.5% of the loan amount. We have stamp duty on title, which is 1% of the open market value. As I mentioned earlier on, we have approved valuers, and one of them will value the property. So the stamp duty is 1% of the open market value that will be quoted in the valuation report. We have title and mortgage registration fee, which is 5,000 Ghana cedis. This one is in cedis, not in dollars. And then we also have to run a search. We have to run a search, and the search is 600 Ghana cedis. So we have processing facility 3% of the loan amount. We have stamp duty on mortgage, which is 0.5% of the loan amount. We have stamp duty on title, 1% of the open market value quoted in the valuation report. Title and mortgage registration fee of 5,000 Ghana cedis, and then a search fee of 600. So the stamp duty on mortgage, the stamp duty on title, title registration fee, all these fees goes to Lands Commission for the registration of your documents. Now, in terms of the loan amount that you gave us, I think you said 400K.
No, he didn't mention 100K.
Oh, it's
Yes,
rather
100,000 US dollars. So, and not to
okay.
interject, but that means that from what you've just said, it means on $100,000 for me to access the loan, I'll have to pay a fee of $4,500 plus 6,000 Ghana cedis, all inclusive,
No,
in
it's
order to access
5,000
the
Ghana
loan.
cedis. So it's 5,000 Ghana cedis for the
Yes,
registration,
but
not
it's
6,000.
5,000 plus. You mentioned 600
Search fee.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
another
No,
500 Ghana cedi somewhere. So I'm just doing the full math right
okay.
now because you mentioned 5,000 plus another 500 cedis plus another 600 cedis or so.
Okay. Let me go over. So I
Yeah.
mentioned processing and facility, which is 3% of the loan amount.
Okay.
Then I mentioned stamp duty on mortgage, which is 0.5% of the loan amount.
Okay.
I mentioned stamp duty on title, which is 1% of the OMV, that is the open market value of the
Yeah,
property.
which is approximately right now we are at 4.5%. Okay.
Yes. Then I mentioned title registration fee, which is 5,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, 5,000
And you
Ghana
also
cedis.
have to run a search, which is 600 Ghana cedis.
So that's 5,600. Okay.
Yes, that's 5,600 Ghana cedis. Yeah. So, and if you're looking at a property of 100,000,
100,000 US
yeah,
dollars.
we are giving 80K. So, if you're looking at 80K, the processing fees, processing facility is $2,400. We have stamp duty on mortgage, which is 0.5% of 80K. Okay. And then the stamp duty on title is actually 1% of the open market value, but because we don't have any figures in terms of the
Let's
valuation.
assume the open market value will be of course, the open market value is the price at which the property is being purchased. Also, that would be the gross 100,000. So that'll be 1% of 100,000.
Well, I would say we are using that as an estimate.
Yeah, that's an estimate, yes,
It's
of
not
course.
always the case, but we're using that
Yeah.
as an estimate. Yeah, in that case, then I do understand. I do understand. So 1% will be 800. And then we have stamp duty on mortgage, which is 0.5% of the loan amount. So 0.5% of 80K is 400. And then we have mortgage registration fee, which is 5,000 Ghana cedis. And then the search fee of 600 Ghana cedis. Talking of closing fees, aside the ones that I've listed, life and hazard insurance is a required. It's required as well. We have life insurance, and the life insurance is typically a mortgage protection insurance policy that covers death and disability arising out of illness or accident that renders the mortgagor permanently incapacitated to be able to service the loan. So life insurance is required, and then hazard insurance, or someone will say fire insurance. So fire insurance also covers the mortgage property against hazards of fire such as flood, windstorm, earthquake, impact damage arising from articles dropping from aircraft. Some of these things. So that one, the hazard insurance also covers that. And it's mandatory for every applicant to get these insurance covers in place. The bank, once again, has approved insurance companies. So once you apply for the facility, for instance, the life insurance, there's an application form that you will have to complete. And then based on the loan amount that the bank is offering you, the insurance company will come up with a quote or a premium that you are supposed to pay, as well as the hazard insurance. That one too, we use the reinstatement value quoted in the evaluation report, and then the premium is also made known to you. So these two, life and hazard insurance, are compulsory, and you have to get them done before we disburse the loan. You also asked a question whether these fees are paid upfront before disbursement of the loan, and the answer is yes. Actually, when we are processing the facility, we have a processing fee that comes along with the application form. All right. So you submit your application form, you pay your processing fee. When a loan is approved, then the other fees will have to be paid before we disburse the facility. And it's not a monthly fee that you'll have to pay. So you pay this fee upfront. The only monthly fee you pay is one annual renewal fee of $100. And then the insurance, the life and hazard insurance policies are renewed on a yearly basis. So the hazard insurance is renewed annually, the life insurance is renewed annually. But these fees are paid upfront before the loan is disbursed, and it's a one-time fee that you will have to pay. So it's not something that you pay every month.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
Yes. So if I understand clearly, it means that after I put down my 20%, I'll have to budget roughly maybe an extra maybe 3 to 4% to cover the necessary fees. And in the process of that, I also need to get my life insurance, hazard insurance. Do I get that on my own and then come and submit a document to show that I do have a life insurance and hazard insurance, or I need to get a hazard insurance and life insurance from a partner company of yours? What is that process also like? Because I can go get my own life insurance and also get, a property insurance either from Glyco or any of the other insurance in Ghana. Or what is the process for that process? What's that process as well?
Yeah, so once you are obtaining the insurance from one of the bank's approved insurance companies, we are fine. Normally, we try to assist customers, you see, to, so that they don't go through that stress. So we obviously will share the list with you, and then you can tell us that okay, go with insurance A or insurance B, or we can decide to do that on your behalf. But we share the policies with you, the quotation or the premium. We share everything with you before payment is done. But you can also decide to uh, go to the insurance company and say, okay,
this application process in the chat or somewhere?
oh, sure,
Thank
why
you.
not? I'll provide you with an email address that you can easily send your inquiries, your application form, and everything to. Gordon, should I do that at the end of the presentation?
Yes, so that at least we'll get. So Ken, much information. We'll share the link and everything on this platform
Oh,
before the meeting. Okay.
yeah, I'm not to push, but I would appreciate if you can share right now, since some of us have to get to work very soon. So, I
All
mean, we
right.
don't want to miss this. Thank you.
All right. All right. So our engineers backstage will are putting that. We'll put that right there for us so that we can. That there's a hand up. Wendy, can you please let us know your question?
I heard from Felix that once the application document is coming through, there's a processing fee. So that means that the processing fee is paid before the application process. So I wanted to be clear. Once the application is not approved, is that processing fee refundable? And that's my first question. My second question, and pardon me, I didn't join the call early. Um, uh, it's your facilities for both locals and those who live outside, or it's just for locals? And if it's for those who live outside, what's your definition for somebody that lives outside? So I live in Ghana currently, but my employer is outside. So I was employed outside Ghana, but because of remote work, I live in Ghana. Will you look at my application as somebody that I live here or somebody that lives here? I mean, I'm asking because of documentation, particularly
Okay.
around the two types of insurance you mentioned. I have a life insurance in the UK. Um, Am I supposed to do another life insurance because of this mortgage facility? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. So the first is the processing fee. So, like I mentioned, the processing fee comes with the application forms and everything. Now, in the we don't foresee your application being declined anyway, because by then we will have reviewed the documents and all that. But in a worst case scenario where the application is declined, obviously the processing fee will be refunded to you. The bank will not keep your money. But before we ask you to pay your processing fee alongside with the application, that means we will have done our checks, our due diligence, we've reviewed all your documents, your credit report, and everything, and then but before we ask you to pay that money. But like I mentioned, in a case where the application is declined, the fee is refunded to you. In terms of the application, whether you are a local or non-resident Ghanaian, once you're a Ghanaian, you can apply for the mortgage facility. Now, in your case, you live in Ghana, but your employer is outside Ghana. That is not a problem. You can still apply for the facility. I want to believe that because your employer is outside Ghana, probably your salary is pegged to the dollar or you earn in dollars. In your case, though you live in Ghana, you can go for the dollar loan or the city loan. You have that option. Unlike local residents who, uh, if you earn in cities, you can't apply for a dollar loan. But if you live in Ghana and you earn in dollars or your salary is to the dollar, you can apply for the dollar loan. I hope that answers your question. Hello, hello.
Hello, Wendy.
Hello, Wendy. I don't know if she's still online.
Yes, Wendy is still here. I think she's caught up in something.
Okay, that's fine.
So yeah. Okay.
Gordon,
Yes.
I think Ken mentioned that he has to, maybe he will not be with us throughout the session.
Yes.
I don't
So
know if I can quickly provide an email address so that, I mean, those who
sure,
will
sure.
not be able to provide, be with us throughout the session can,
Reach out.
get this
Yeah.
information. At the end of the session, I'll provide those details again, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So you can send us an email on mortgage at republicghana.com. Mortgage, then the at sign. So mortgage at republicghana.com. You can also call or WhatsApp on 054 010 9649. 054 010 9649. Thank you very much. I think we can proceed.
Felix, I wasn't sure whether my question on the life was answered. I think my connectivity was not great.
Sorry,
So
can
I
you
said
repeat that
my
question?
life, I have a life in UK, a life
Okay.
insurance policy in UK.
Okay.
For the purpose of the facility, am I supposed to do another one?
The answer is yes. You're supposed to do
Why?
a new one purposely for the facility. This one is purposely for the facility we are offering you.
Okay, I'm quite not sure why it's a requirement to do it. Because even if we have the jurisdictional challenge, um, it depends on how much. But if it's confirmed that it will be able to settle my exposures in the UK and will be enhanced, it's just for the insurance company to write and give you that comfort. But a blatant no to do a new policy, it's a challenge for me. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Gordon, I think my boss raised his hands. I think you
Yes.
want to come in
So,
here as
so
well.
I saw the hand. Mr. Ajete, please, you can.
you. Yes, just to respond to Wendy's question. Wendy, my name is Dan. I'm the head of mortgage at Republic Bank, just by way of introduction. Yes, the National Insurance Commission requires that any facility that is granted by a local bank should be insured by a local insurance company. And so you are right in mentioning the jurisdiction in which we operate. And so this is governed by the insurance guidelines in Ghana. Yes, please. Wendy, please, you can go ahead.
I mean, noted. I think
Okay,
this answers it well with me. I mean, if that's the
sure,
reason, that's fine. Yeah.
sure. All right.
All right. So a quick one. The email and then a contact number has been kept on the chat. Mortgage at republicghana.com. That is the email address. And then the phone number is plus 233 540 540 109 649. Plus 233 540 109 649. You can reach out to Dan and his team on that. Mary has a question. Mary, please, you can go ahead. Mary, okay.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I noticed you mentioned, and maybe I missed beforehand. You mentioned the dollar loan and the city loan. CD loan. And I just wanted to know what is like the main difference? Is it if you go to the dollar loan, is it like more? Are you paying more if you're choosing to pay in dollar, or can you just it, or is it going to be less if you choose to pay in CD?
Okay. So if you live and work here in Ghana, you are paid in cedis.
Right.
If you go for a dollar loan, at any point in time, we are not sure how the rate is going to be like. Now, in case the rate goes up, like the exchange rate goes up, it means if you earn in cedis, you have to change more cedis to pay your dollar loan. And at a point, if you're not careful, you'll be using more than 60 or 70% of your income to pay for your mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's going to cost you a lot. So what we've decided to do is that if you earn in cedis, you go for a CD loan. You don't have any issue with exchange rate. and all of those. Now, if you live and work outside Ghana, you can go for a dollar loan or a CD loan. Dollar loan because you earn in dollars. CD loan because most of the time, when you look at the exchange rate, you guys benefit. You exchange more and we have so many cities. So that goes to benefit you guys a lot. But if you're in cities and you go for a dollar loan, if you're not careful, you find yourself in trouble, depending on the way the exchange rate behaves. And we don't want that to happen to our customers.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, I think I saw another hand up. Yes, Wendy, you wanted to ask something else, Wendy? As an expert or as a mortgage specialist, okay, as a mortgage specialist, what are some of the most common misconceptions about mortgages in
All right. So I normally hear this a lot from customers who call to make inquiries that, Felix, I've heard that for a mortgage facility, you'll never feel you pay your pay and all that. That is not true. All right. Now, when you give it a facility within a stipulated period, number of years, let's say 10 or maximum 15 years or 20 years. If you stick to your repayment that has been given, obviously you complete your repayment within the number of years you've been given. Okay. Unless somewhere along the line you default and then your account run into arrears and the interest components also builds up and all that. But if you stick to your monthly repayment, if it's 5, 10, 15, 20 years that you've been given, if you stick to your repayment, you obviously complete repayment of the loan within that time, and you are good to go. And even if you are done with the repayment, we also have another product called equity that you can use your property as collateral and come for another loan, which we'll talk about that later. So mortgage is a straight line thing. And the good thing about Republic Bank mortgages, our rates are fixed. So it helps with your financial planning. Our interest rates are fixed. It helps with your financial planning. So if you work hand in hand with us, I don't think you have any issues or any problems along the line. Hello, Gordon.
Okay, so I'm with you.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay. So you did mention of equity, something about equity stuff. I would be pleased if you can give us the various types of mortgages that you actually have, please.
Gordon, I think for the purpose of this session, where customers will have to purchase your property, I would suggest that we stick to the home purchase mortgage. Maybe some other time we stick to the other products that we have, if that's okay with you.
All right, that's okay with me. That's okay with my team as well. I would like to let the house know that this conversation or this webinar is being recorded, and then we'll actually share with everyone. So, the team would you actually receive emails after this webinar session, where you have a recording of everything, and then you have some notes as well. You also have the contact of reps from Fidelity Bank and those some reps from the sales team of BlackRock Developers Limited, who will help you make a good decision or choosing a property the right way. Someone is asking, it says, if every now and then I get a lump sum to pay into my loan, will that reduce the monthly repayment or shorten the loan term? That is the question someone is asking.
Okay, so we call that principal reduction.
Hello, Felix.
Yes, boss.
You can taking care of the ones in the chat, so I'm trying to respond to that question now.
Okay, all right. Thank you,
All
boss.
right, Mr. Dan. Thank you very much on that. So someone is asking, okay, so can you share a success story of a client who navigated the full process smoothly? And then what was the timeline? What is the average timeline? I noticed earlier I didn't mention something like 5 days, 5 working days or something. So can you actually give us a straightforward timeline when assuming all documents are being delivered on time and all that?
All right. There's been instances where we've been able to actually process a mortgage facility in less than a month, and I mean from initiation to disbursement. With some little delay even from the vendor in providing us with the transfer documents. What I will advise from our listeners or prospects is that when we request for information, they should be up with the information that they provide us. All right. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes we receive the information in bits or piecemeal. So I received a credit report today. I received a bank statement 2 days later. I received a payslip 3 days later. So by the time I received the whole set of documents, it's already 2 weeks gone. Okay, and when you do that, it actually delay the whole process. So if our customers are able to provide us with information that we need within the shortest possible time, we'll be able to process, and because we've done some before where we disburse within 3 weeks. All right, we've done some before, and it's possible that we can do that for every single applicant on this session. So what that we need is the information flow and the requirements that we also need from them. Apart from the requirements that are listed, all right, it's possible that the bank might come back to an applicant requesting for more information based on the details after reviewing the documents. And like I said, I will encourage everyone that when we come back to you for any information, kindly assist and provide us that information within the shortest possible time. And this will also cut off most of the delays that are possible to happen in processing the applications so that we can all work within the shortest possible time.
Okay. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Felix. Do we have any question here, please? Anyone with a question?
Gordon, whilst we are waiting for people to ask questions, let me also chip in this quickly. We also have the option where applicants can apply jointly with either their spouse, their children, or their parents. So, assuming I want to apply for a mortgage facility and my income alone doesn't qualify me for the loan amount that I'm requesting for, I can apply jointly with my spouse. All that I need to do is to provide a marriage certificate to show that we are married. All right. I can also apply with my parent. That is, if I have a parent, I can apply. And I can also apply with either my brother or a sister. That's a sibling who is in gainful employment, permanent employment. And let me also stress on the fact that we offer mortgages to permanent employees. If you're on a contract basis, unfortunately, you don't qualify for a mortgage facility. You have to be a permanent employee before we can offer you the facility. So the joint application option is available to everybody. Once you can prove that this is your spouse, this is your brother or your sister, we are in a position to offer you that facility. So the documents that applicant A will provide us, applicant B will also provide us with the same documents. So we assess both incomes and everything, and then we able to come up with the maximum amount that the two qualify for.
Okay. There's a hand up. David Dion. David, ask your question. Hello, David.
Yeah, sorry. I have this question. If I take a facility from Republic Bank and then let's say I run into financial difficulties, what are there any incentives are there any incentives with regards to Republic Bank, which is different from other financial institutions that would convince me to take a facility from Republic Bank? I don't know if someone has asked that question already.
Oh, okay.
So, Mr. Felix, I don't know if you got his question. He's asking why he should go ahead using Republic Mortgage than any other institution? David, is that the question?
Yes, and the other part of it is if I run into, let's say, financial difficulties in the course of financing the mortgage.
Okay, so let me handle the first question, and then I'll come on to the second one. So, a public bank, formerly HFC Bank, we started this whole mortgage business in Ghana, and I can assure you of our turnaround time. All right, and look at, or if you compare our turnaround time to our competitors, I can assure you that we are the best. Secondly, we are the only bank that offers fixed interest rate. Of course, other competitors will give you a variable rate, and then the rate can change at any point in time. But Republic Bank offers a fixed interest rate to assist you with your financial planning over the entire long term. And we have flexible repayment as well. Like you mentioned, principal reduction is allowed. And at any point in time, if you think you have the funds to pay off, we also have the necessary arrangement. So we have the flexible terms and all the resources to assist you or help you create wealth in terms of our mortgage facilities. And let me say this, in the course of the repayment, all right, if you have any challenges, kindly communicate with the bank. Obviously, we are here to help you, purchase a property. All right. Now, if you have any challenges or any issue with the repayment, kindly communicate. Our managers are always available to, negotiate with you, or have some touch with you to see how best we can meet each other halfway for you to be able to repay your mortgage through the entire long term. But in a situation where you are not able to pay your facility and that communication flow is also not there, and we we are not sure whether you even pay the facility, then the necessary actions will be taken. So it's all about communication. Okay, and once your loan is approved, an officer will be assigned to you. So you have one person that will always be communicating with you. If you have any challenges, if you need any information, you just communicate to that person, and then the necessary arrangement will be put in place to assist you in whichever way that the bank can. So um, simply let the communication flow be key to all of us. Once you have any challenges, please let us know. But in as much as you have issues somewhere along the line, I'm not encouraging or advising anyone to default. In the course of the repayment, you have to set a good track record. All right. You have to set a good track record. Tomorrow you might come back for another facility, but if you don't set a good track record and you default, it means you are not building a good credit record with the bank, and it might affect you in the near future. So please, in as much as some of these challenges might happen somewhere along the line, let's have in mind that, okay, if you are going for mortgage, it means we are not going to take other mortgages and other auto loans and other stuff which will affect the repayment of the mortgage that we are taking here in Ghana. It's very key. It's very key. If you burden yourself with so many loans, you might have difficulties in repaying your mortgage. So it's a decision. Once you decide to go for the mortgage, then you know that, okay, for this period I have a mortgage. So let me limit myself, let me not burden myself with loans so that I can pay my mortgage. And I think you can pay it successfully and easily.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Felix, assuming I apply for a mortgage, I'm given the financing, everything, and then I get 15 years, or let's say I get 10 years repayment duration. Okay. I'm working, I go get some huge sums of money that I want to pay off the loan before time. I want to pay off the loan before time. Can that be done? And then what is the process in that as well?
All right. So that can be done. I say that can be done. So what we do is we will charge you 0.25% on the outstanding, not the initial amount. Assuming you took $80,000 and you've paid, it's left with $60,000. All right. If you want to pay everything, you want to clear everything, like you mentioned, we'll charge you 0.25% on the 60,000 left, and then you can pay off.
Okay. So if I get you are charged 0.25% of the outstanding loan balance.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix. Thank you for the insight this evening. We're much grateful to you for enlightening us a bit. If there's anything you want to ask, you want to add to this evening's discussion, we'll be pleased you can go ahead and add those key points you want to add to it.
Yes, Gordon, what I would say is I will encourage all prospects on this session that if they really want to, purchase a property in Ghana, the time is now. The time is now. Sometimes I receive calls from applicants who are 65, 66 years, and they are now making the decision to purchase a property. At that age, you don't have much time. All right, and it's a bit difficult for the bank to offer you a facility for 10, 15 years. So if the decision has to be done, it has to be done now. And I encourage everyone listening to me that buying a property is a big time investment. I mean, looking at the rate at which properties appreciate in Ghana, I will encourage everyone to do that now, and that person will not regret. Gordon, let me take this opportunity to go over the email address again and the phone number for all prospects to put it down. So the email address is mortgage@republicghana.com. Mortgage@republicghana.com. And if you want us to call us or WhatsApp, the number is 233 54010 9649 plus 233 54010 9649. So I believe we will be receiving emails. Emails will flood with a lot of prospects making inquiries, and we are here and we will be glad to also assist each and everyone purchase a property in Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Felix. Also, I would want to add to it that BlackRock Developers Limited currently has projects in Oyarifa. We have a two and three bedroom projects coming up in Oyarifa from 90,000 to 130,000 USD. And then we also have an ongoing project at Hacho. It's a 35 gated community with a communal pool and a gym. One, we have 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms with boys' quarters also available. We have projects at East Airport as well. We have Chado. So my team will actually reach out to each and everyone on this platform. We have a product for everyone. But we'll also talk to Fidelity, Republic Bank. Get things sorted out. Thank you very much, everyone. Expect the videos shortly. A video will come out where we'll be able to recap. You will be able to recap on these things, and then we have key takeaways that we've also jotted down. That will also flow in your emails as well. If there's any question, we'll be glad to answer. If not, then we'll call it a day. Any questions, please? All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining BlackRock Developers Limited and Republic.
I have a question, Godwin. Will there be another one?
Yes, please, Winifred. If anything, we'll get back to you. If you also have any questions, you can actually reach out to me, or you can reach out to Felix on the shared email address.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And then
Thank you.
Pick that from there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. And Felix, thank you very much. Thank you, Dan Ajeke, for allowing your team to share this insightful thing with us this evening. We're much grateful to the staff of Public Bank. We are much grateful to the customers of BlackRock Developers Limited as well. Thank you all for joining us this evening. You have a good evening, everyone.
All right. Thank you too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.